Hello and welcome to another daily Muppet. In today's video, vlog day 4. It's been busy. I'm catching up. I apologize for not doing it. I had the red carpet this morning, but I'm gonna make up for it. I've got 3 good videos coming out and a 4th if you want to head over to KG the Reckless channel where we had a discussion about Sheshko versus Ollie Watkins. If that's not out when you're watching this, it'll be out soon, so go check that over there. And I've got a video with KG talking about Ruben Amorim, as well as an interview, the full interview with Patrick Dorgu, about 5 minutes, 6 minutes long. So go check that one out as well. But this video, I'm gonna put the daily kind of vlog. It's only like a minute and a half of stuff. I clipped a small part of the Dorgu interview so I could put it up in there. Just like I asked him a question, I just clipped his answer, and that way you can see that question I asked him, because the sound on my side got cut off there, was whether he wants to or thinks about maybe needing to improve attacking or defending more in this system as a wingback and on this season. And yeah, nice, simple answer, simple question, but it was good to get a chance to do that and be a part of that whole kind of event and interview. I expected it to be a calmer day. I had a really nice meeting this morning, really good meeting. It was an exceptional meeting, a great meeting, and I have things I want to talk about news-wise. First, I'm going to play this minute and a half little clip vlog of the day, which was really interesting. It was supposed to be quiet, but then had the red carpet. I got a message about an event ongoing, so decided to head over to that. It was great. And then just following up on things with ending the night actually over at a football shirt store with Good Vibes John, who was having an event there. And it was really nice to do that and to enjoy that. So I got a couple small clips from that as well that I hope you'll enjoy. But really, really short, small stuff. And then I want to get into some news, some things to talk about, because there are things to talk about. There's little developments every day, even though things are a little bit quiet. There's things I missed out on in the day's news that I want to talk about as well. But I have some, thoughts and things of my own from the discussions I've continued to have while I've been out here, which has been, incredibly interesting. And I want to mention before I forget, Wednesday at the Guinness Open Brewery, where there was an event today, there will be a tailgate and pre-match from 11 to 3. We'll be there. So if you want to see myself, KG, Flex, and them, they will be there on Wednesday. So make sure to go and join that. I think you'll be, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a good party before the game. So there's that. Let's play this real quick, and then I'll get back to some stuff I want to talk about. Some Bournemouth players first before United.
Both. Obviously, I wanna have the team scoring goals and getting assists, so I will improve that as well. So defensively, we have to be strong. We have to defend good. We have to keep clean sheets. It makes it easier to win games. So.
This way. I'll be here. How was your summer service?
Like if food runs out, drinks runs out, you let any of us know, we'll figure it out. Don't you worry about that.
Yes, so it was a fun day. Good events, good fun, good activities. Just getting to hang out with everyone. It's been a really nice time overall. But yes, I've obviously had some discussions. Just over everything that's going on, and there's just a few things that I wanted to talk about because it's important for me to always get a good idea of what's going on. So let me think how to kind of get into this. Couple of things I saw reported today. Some talk of Jadon Sancho going back to Dortmund. There was certainly some strong hints of something like that happening maybe 3 weeks ago. Again, that it might become another topic, and maybe there's truth to that. I think Patrick Dorgu reported it, who I believe is a very, very good journalist for Dortmund. I saw him 2 years ago out on tour with Dortmund when we played them in Las Vegas. So he's like one of their serious like beat journalists who follows. So if he's reporting that, that's pretty good. That's a good sign. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back out there. In terms of the price that United need, really they're just needing, that 15 million or so to recoup the rest of the money that they still owe, and the wages off. So there's a decent chance that that sounds good. That sounds like a good deal. If there's truth to that, which I believe there probably is, I think that's somewhere he'd obviously be open. Obviously, the Juventus stuff has not moved. I haven't really followed up with it because once Ornstein said it wasn't close, I stopped listening to any of those Italian reports. And I think we have to be a little bit wary, okay, of that because there's a lot of stuff going around. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I spoke about how, from my perspective, from what I was hearing, I'd be surprised if they went for Benjamin Šeško. Now, there's been a lot of talk earlier today about Šeško. Now, again, I want to indicate something as to my understanding of it. It's not like they think Šeško's a bad player. It's just the money that they're talking about for him. 70 million euros plus 10 million euros add-ons, pretty big wages. I don't believe, from what I've heard, that United are ready to do that, are ready to spend that kind of money. One of the things that, I was speaking with someone about today in terms of strategy, in terms of what they were looking at, that I think is hard for people to get, hard for people to really grasp, like the gravity of this, the seriousness of it, is the idea that, when you're bringing players in, that it is more than just are they good on the pitch, right? There's a few big factors that United have been working on this summer in particular and over this last 12 months to improve and to integrate into making sure the recruitment is better. And it's why they're really happy with even just the two they've got in that they're so happy with. One aspect is the simple fact of data. This has been a huge part of their recruitment process that has not been there before. It's having the data, rather than trying to have this massive, gigantic scouting system, but to really improve upon the data infrastructure. And it's still a work in progress, but it's something they're really big on, and it's why they're able to shrink the team. Because frankly, in their view, having a large team is not really that beneficial from a scouting perspective, because the fact is, you can't scout every player. If you're Manchester United, there's no number of scouts you can have on earth that's going to allow you to find players that nobody else is finding, to see things that nobody else is seeing in other leagues, because there's just too many teams, too many eyes, too many things like that. And it's all about data. And it's really interesting that clubs like Brighton, the reason they're actually able to find and recruit these players based on what people in the industry believe, has a lot more to do with the connections Tony Bloom and his betting company have and their ability to identify and see players, because they have people in these betting markets watching all these games and they get massive amounts of data, and that is helping them find gems in the market. So huge data that is allowing you to know where to look. You still need to scout. You still need to watch people. You still need to do all that. But United have done such a massive focus on improving the data aspect so that they're able to identify the right targets and then go look at them and have it be more purposeful. But the data isn't just that. It's like you take Cunha and Bumo. It's easy to say they're the obvious signings, they're the best players available. But you have to compare the value for money too. Look at the data and say, well, if we went to these guys, would they be that good? For the money, is it better value to go for this or that? And to make the right decisions, when do you go cheaper? When do you just go for the obvious, straightforward one? That's a decision too, the serious decision, a data-led decision as well. So they've been doing huge work on the data side of things, and it's part of shrinking things down with the team, which was necessary. The fact of the matter is that the shrinking, the redundancies, the things like that, that's why we've got money in this window at all and why we can spend. Now, the other aspect of the data that was completely missing too is using the data to properly evaluate the team that's already there. What's the team missing? How is it performing? How is it doing? What's wrong? What are the areas that are not working? And sometimes it's obvious we need players who can score goals, but it's a lot more than that. What attributes are we missing? What things are happening? And that data has been missing. And so, it's like Okay, well, all right, we need a striker, but what kind of striker? Who's the right one? What's the right person to bring in? That aspect of data has been missing, and these are things they're improving on really dramatically right now. The other thing is to properly measure performance of the team, know how it's doing beyond the standings and things like that. For example, one thing I can say is that the feeling at United is strongly based on their findings that the team was a lot better under Ruben Amorim than Eric Ten Hag. From Eric Ten Hag's final season to Amorim's, that it was significantly better. And not certainly that it needed to be even better, but that besides towards the end of the season when they really focused on the Europa League and were maybe not 100% in on those Premier League games, the data was showing them that they were performing significantly better. So in their eyes, even though there's a lot of losses and things like that that happen, Ruben Amorim is improving this team. He has improved this team. He has got them playing better. And they expect it is an upward trending thing, and that's what they want to see, that continued upward trend under Amorim. So I wouldn't say he's going into the season under pressure that he had a bad season. He improved United when he came in their eyes, and I think he did, and the data backs that up. So I like that. Some people won't because we didn't win a lot. We didn't win many games, but the data says that the performances were better, and that's sometimes what matters. Of course, United have to start winning games as well. There's no doubt about that. But so a lot of that stuff has been, just fundamental to improving, what's going on at United. But they've got a clear plan. They've got a serious plan. They have a clear plan and a clear way that they want to move forward. And it's not really influenced by pressure. So people saying, oh, the fans will get too antsy and then they'll sack play. They're not worried about that. They're going to do what they're going to do based on what they see as the right thing. There's things, and so they're not going to be pressured into making stupid decisions either anymore. That's what the team is in there to do. That's why you insulate and you've got the people in place to run things so that the pressure doesn't, fan pressure, things like that. It comes in waves and you've got to be able to ride it out and stick to the plan because sometimes it takes longer than expected. Sometimes it looks bumpier than expected. But yeah, they're really, really focused on improving this data stuff. In addition to that, one of the big factors that they've looked at is this factor of like the dressing room and culture. And one of the things that's been stressed to me is that you take some of these other clubs like Liverpool, City, some of these places, because they have such a strong core in the dressing room, such a strong environment in the basics in there. It's really easy for them to take somebody who's, they can take more risks. They can look at somebody and, they can take some more risks. They can take somebody in and they can say, yeah, well, maybe he's got some flaws. Maybe his character, there's things that are not perfect about his character. Maybe there are things that, he doesn't speak English and he doesn't do this. And they can absorb that in and uplift them and bring them into the fold and snuff out bad behaviors and things like that. With United, they can't do that because they haven't had the dressing room with a core value to be the level that they've wanted, the way that the action is, the way that the team is, the standards in the dressing, they've not been high. And so there's been a lack of leadership and a lack of direction and a lack of like a togetherness all on one and like what's okay and what isn't. So players come in, if there's bad habits, bad characters, they can't afford it because they get worse. And those behaviors steamroll and it doesn't get cut out of them and they just continue on and nobody does anything about it. Well, that's what they're trying to correct. And that's why they have to be really careful about the players that they bring in. Because they need to bring in people that they're sure are going to get in to the dressing room and get on immediately. Right personality. They can talk to other players. No major communication barriers, things like that they can just get right in and just be there and help form a strong dressing room. And once it's different, then they're going to be able to take more risks. So there's a lot that they're trying to correct, a lot of stuff that they're trying to correct. And I think they're on the right track. And they think they're on the right track. And I think they're right. What does that mean in the transfer business? From what I'm hearing today in the last couple of days, I'm feeling very, very optimistic. One of the things that's changed is before this, last week, I thought we'd get a keeper first. I don't think we'll get a keeper first. I'm not sure we'll get a keeper at all this summer. They want a striker. They want a number 6. They want a keeper. I'm not so sure anymore. But a midfielder is becoming a lot more possible. That's current as of today. And that's a really, really good sign. The idea is, of course, they can't do everything in one window. That's just the reality of it. They can't fix the whole team everything they need this window, but they want to get what they can done. And as of today, it looks more like a striker and a midfielder than it does a goalkeeper. Now that keeps changing, and that's just the reality of it. It's changing. Today, it looks more like that. They have some ideas in mind. They have some plans that may not happen, but if they do, they're incredible. Let's just put it that way. I mean, incredible. I hope they can pull these things off. But, I think that they've got ideas in mind to get the right people. There's striker that I still think they're going for, a striker that I spoke about earlier. I think there's a specific one they want to get. But there are a couple of plans in place. There's a world where we don't go really, big on a striker and spend more on a midfielder. And there's a couple of routes here that are possible at this point in time in the window, and it is still a bit up in the air. But I think I know what those routes are, and we just have to let it simmer a bit. We just do. But either way, I think the plans are right. I still keep, in both aspects of these plans, I still keep mostly hearing about Premier League players, about Prem Proven, about that, because the view is they have to get it right. If they're going to spend significant money, they have to get it right. When I asked about things like Šeško and I've had conversations, it's a lot of money. We have to be 100% sure when we're spending that kind of money, 100% sure. Are they 100% sure of Šeško? I don't think so. That's why I doubt it will happen, because I haven't gotten 100% sure feedback on it. And when I look at things like that Laurie has said, who's exceptionally well connected on these things, the feedback he's gotten is not 100% sure. They're not in the business right now of spending 70 million on guys they're not 100% sure about. I was surprised to hear pretty rave reviews about Ekitike. I was surprised they rated him as high as they did. But they did. They seriously rated him. I think they seriously considered spending a lot of money on him, more than I thought they would and more than I initially heard they would. But I think they rated him more than they were letting on when I first was asking about it and looking into it. So, but there's a lot of competition, so I think they were keeping calm on it. Are they 100% sure on Šeško? That's the question. I'm not so sure. And that's what gives me serious doubt that it's a deal that they're going to pursue at those kind of prices. If you were to say, I only want United, Leipzig were to bend on the price, that might change things a little bit. But I'm not sure that that's what's going to happen. Newcastle seem like they're ready to do a big bid if this bid comes in for Isak, which it sounds like it will when Diaz is sold here. So I'm still leaning towards the direction of other players, of Premier League players. But yeah, there's a lot up in the air. I wish I could say with certainty exactly what will happen. I know what they want to do, and the plans are great. Whether it's all gets done, however much gets done now or gets done next summer, I think people between now and next summer, I think people are going to be really happy with what they want to do. I think they'll be really excited about it. I think they'll be thrilled with it. So, we got to give them some credit at getting some good players in, given the financial disaster that they came into, the catastrophe that they came into, and the situation that they came into. The reality is there's some money right now to spend. There's some business that can be done, but it's not infinite. The biggest factor that they have, the biggest limiting factor, is also cash. We're not in a situation where the owners can pump money in. Even the credit facility Well, technically, you do need Glazers to be approving to draw down on that credit facility because it's an investment. It's essentially an investment in debt in their name. It even qualifies as owner investment per the Premier League. So it may not be that simple to say, hey, we'll just take more for that, besides just using it on regular operating costs to keep things going on a cash flow basis. It may not be that simple. But the other biggest factor in why United just don't have the cash is, one, they're just spending way too much money, and that's being corrected. But we'll see the benefit of that a bit more over time. And two, they're just not successful. They know 100% they know they cannot compete with Liverpool and City right now financially, because Liverpool and City are winning trebles. They're in the Champions League every year. They just have more money. And so United can't compete at that front, but they do have some money available. The structure of the deals is going to be really important, more than the fee. The structure, how much cash goes out this year, is going to be more important than the fees itself. So with the fees, it's like, think less about it. They ended up spending less cash for Mbumo than they would have for Delap. So it's about more the cash outlay that would be required. So that's an important part of evaluating kind of the targets and the deals we're looking at, is the cash outlay more than the fee itself. So yeah, it's interesting times. It really is. I can only say that from the bottom of my heart and in all complete honesty, I think they're going to get it right. I really, really, really think they're going to get it right. They have the right plans. They have the right ideas. They know what they're doing. And I can tell you, the people here, the people working now, have the absolute best of intentions to get United back on top. They really, really do. And I think they do know what they're doing. And they're sorting out a mess. And I think they're sorting it out right. But they want to get sure things. They want to get things really, really right. That's the most important this summer and right now. So, yeah, I've been so encouraged, honestly. And I understand maybe it's a little frustrating me telling you just like to take my word for it on some of these things without getting too much detail. I've given it kind of as much as I can at the moment. Like I said, more likely a striker and a midfielder than a goalkeeper right now. That's new. That's a change. I've told you kind of the feedback I've gotten on Sheshko and what leads me to believe. We'll see. If they do go for him, then they must be 100% certain. I just haven't gotten that idea yet. Prem proven's still a big thing. And they want serious players. Serious players that I think people will be really, really happy about in these other positions. Whether it gets done this summer or not, or has to be spread between this and next, I think people will be really happy. And I think they're building a monster of a team, you know? I think it feels like the old days of like, just get the best players from around the Premier League. Build something special with that. That seems to be a big driving force, a big idea behind all of this. And it's about the football, and it's about putting together on the pitch properly. So I'm very excited in general with things. To me, it's been such a positive. I've been out a few years now. This one with a lot more time, a lot more getting to know things, getting the feel of things, getting the vibes, it's just better. There's so much better in it, and it is hard to quantify all of it. But today was such a positive day with everything that I've seen, everything that's happened from the events to whatever. It's just there's so much that's going on that's good at United right now, and I'm always positive anyway, but I feel right now that it's less belief and just optimism and more. I really, really do see for myself what is going on, what they're trying to do, and have a lot of faith in that. So let's see what happens, guys. But that'll do it for essentially day 4, I guess. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, day 4, even though I didn't really do a day 3 because I was sleeping all day. Tomorrow, there's quite a lot of stuff to do as well. So we'll see what happens by the end of that. We'll see what moves forward. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. See you in the next one.